1966, our objective was to ensure that Africans, especially those in the diaspora, could come home to learn from our rich value system in Africa, the value system of their ancestors, which are still very useful to us Africans, who continue to embrace them. Also through the festival, of course, we can also forge closer ties with our brothers and sisters in the diaspora for mutual cooperation and development. I wish to therefore welcome all our brothers and sisters from the diaspora who are here with us today, having traveled, of course, this time with dignity, thousands of miles across the Atlantic, to return home and be reunited with their own kith and kin after we have been separated from each other for hundreds of years. The Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa, is home to all people of the African descent. As an untainted gem, of course, preserved from all forms of pollution, we maintain this country as a land of peace, tranquility, and harmony. We pride ourselves as a model for peaceful coexistence between different religions and ethnic groups. As we herald, therefore, the much-awaited African Renaissance, the Gambia beckons all Africans to the smiling coast as a knowledge hub and as a platform for the propagation of authentic African culture. We also value the assistance we just had from Mr. Garvey, Dr. Garvey, that being a physician himself is willing to come to the Gambia and assist in our health sector. That is what we expect from our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Thank you, Doctor. Here we nurture the roots of creative African intellectual power, and we protect genuine African heritage, out of which shall blossom, of course, the fruits of our minds. The dreams of past and present generations of the black race are now taking a life of their own, no doubt. The world now realizes, indeed, that Africa is the next frontier for socio-economic transformation, especially the capitalizing on the demographic dividend that we have emerging from our young population in Africa. Africa has the youngest population in terms of amounts, quantities, the world over. Our doors are open and we remain friends of all races, but of course, our heritage and dignity will not surely be traded at any cost for any bid, be it economic or ideological in nature. I reckon that the theme for this edition is African culture, its challenges and prospects in the 21st century. This theme is not only apt, but also relevant, especially in a world that is becoming more and more globalized, and where there is the tendency for the long-held cultural values of our people being swept under the carpet in the name of modernization and so-called democracy. Africa's value systems stand threatened and calls for deep reflection, therefore, so as to which way Africa and Africans want to go. We owe it to our future generations to preserve those cultural values and norms that are pivotal, and indeed a pivotal part of our heritage, on which hinges our identity as a people, and provides us with the strength, courage, as well as wisdom to continue to deal with neo-colonial nuances and hegemony that manifests itself in diverse ways and threaten our value systems as we march forward for political and economic emancipation and real independence. We indeed have to, at all costs, decolonize our economies and our minds. That is what we need as Africans to be free and really emancipated. In spite of Africa's wealth and resources, the continent surely continues to grapple with the contradiction of being one of the richest continents in the world, no doubt, in terms of resources in abundance. And yet her subjects continue to remain poor, undernourished, and undereducated, unfortunately. Therefore, it behoves all Africans to rise up in unison and address all these challenges and bring the continent out of the doldrums of poverty and other forms, of course, of underdevelopment that we are experiencing in the context of the African Union's Pan-Africanism and African Renaissance 2063 agenda. In this regard, the International Roots Festival is therefore not just a cultural celebration, for the celebration's sake, but rather for us all to appreciate and indeed recognize our cultural diversity in unity as a source of our strength, while also serving as a platform to bring together our people, those inside the continent and those outside, for us to interact, reflect, and dialogue, and thus create understanding among ourselves for mutual cooperation and the development of our dear motherland and continent of Africa. In short, it is a moral and historical duty and responsibility for all African peoples to stand up and indeed be counted and make a positive contribution to Africa's development. At this juncture, I wish to congratulate the Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture once again and her team, as well as the National Organizing Committee and all the promoters who have in one way or the other contributed to the successful organization of the 11th edition of the International Roots Festival in the Gambia. With these few remarks, I now wish to take the singular honor and pleasure to declare the 11th edition of the International Roots Festival officially open. May Allah the Almighty continue to bless the African continent. Long live African unity. Long live the African brotherhood and sisterhood with the diaspora. Long live the Roots Homecoming Festival. I thank you all for your kind attention, and may God bless.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Madam Vice President, Dr. Ajaratu Aissatou Njie Sedi, for a wonderful speech delivered on behalf of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sir Professor Dr. Alhaji Yahya A. J.J. Jammeh. Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. Ladies and gentlemen, participants, members of the diaspora, I'm sure we've all learned some inspirational words from the speech delivered by the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia on behalf of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, who is no other than Sir Professor Dr. Alhaji Yahya A.J.J. Jammeh, who is not here today, but is here with us in spirit. And of course, those people from the diaspora, we have Dr. Gave, Mutabaruka. It's also good that I add to the brothers and friends from the diasporas and sisters alike, it is good that we are here in the Gambia to see for ourselves. We are successful here today in tourism because there is no visa restrictions in the Gambia. A round of applause for that. I will just want to add that coming to the Gambia here will require no Gambian visa. A round of applause once more for that. The country is a land of peace and openness, thanks to the dynamic leadership of our dear President, cabinet ministers, and also Gambians and non-Gambians alike. At this point, I would also just want to thank members of the PA system team, headed by Saul Gassama, and Chief Technician Junkung Tunkara, and the entire technicians for a wonderful job on the PA system. A round of applause for them. Now, the official opening has been done by the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia. We will just at this point invite the drum symphony, and the MC baton will be handed over to Mr. Cornelius Gomez. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much 3 times and always. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Ajaratu Dr. Aissatou Njie Sedi, representing here His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia,